In medieval times, people pooled their skills in guilds. The trade union, by contrast, is a legal structure created for modern times. As the guilds did, unions today not only support their members, they contribute to a stronger society. But they also face a strong challenge to this important role. I'm Janet Stewart, a proud member of the Canadian Union of Skilled Workers, and this is another 21st Century Insight. Let's go back to medieval times for a moment. That's when merchants and tradesmen began working together to leverage their success. By codifying their social values, they benefited more than just themselves. The guild members helped create civil society, and in doing so, they strengthened their communities. Civil society develops when citizens make and follow rules designed to achieve a common good. Today, modern unions continue to contribute to civil society, but not everyone agrees that rules and regulations are necessary in the marketplace. In the 18th century, a philosopher and economist named Adam Smith proposed a new theory. He called it the invisible hand of the market. The law of supply and demand should drive the economy, he argued. Under this law, the market would determine what people produced and the price for their work. Other laws or rules to regulate the market wouldn't be necessary. In the same way, Smith reasoned, supply and demand would also apply to the people who produced goods and services. As a result, there would no longer be a need to balance the relationship between work and the people who performed it. Adam Smith's ideas might work in a perfect world, but real-life events reveal the flaws in this theory. Take Canada during the late 19th century, for example. Many immigrants of this time found jobs in the mining industry. The corporations that controlled the mines offered low wages in return for really long hours of work. Mine conditions were poor and the risk of injury or death was high. Workers fought back, clashing with police as they tried to balance the working relationship. Over time, civil society took root. Many of the rules and regulations still in place today date back to these struggles. But Adam Smith's theory of the invisible hand of the market still has supporters. They regard unions as restrictions on economic growth. They urge workers to join them in embracing free market capitalism. Federal and provincial governments have also called for an end to the rules and regulations that created workplace balance. As workers, we know better than to let those hard-fought victories slip away. And we should never forget why workers fought for rules and regulations during the 19th and 20th centuries. They were a response to unscrupulous behaviors by employers. Unions made a major contribution to building civil society during the 20th century. It's up to us to continue that quest in the 21st century. But even 21st century unions need to change to continue building civil society. As workers, we can contribute in two ways: by sharing our knowledge and skills with our colleagues, and by helping create safe and productive workplaces. Charles Darwin challenged the science of his day when he described the evolution of species. He said, "It is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can best manage change." A big part of being a knowledge worker is being open to change. So let's embrace it. Thank you for joining me for another 21st Century Insight. Before you go, here's something else to think about. Unions made great strides during the 20th century, but they failed to make major progress in one important area: the right to negotiate workplace activities. Watch the 4th video in this series to learn what CUSW is doing to address that failure and why it's important to us as members. Bye for now.